Two people can stand side by side, watch the same event unfold, breathe the same air, hear the same sounds, yet walk away with two entirely different worlds stored inside their minds, not because they chose different memories, but because they never experienced the same reality in the first place. The brain doesn't wait until something is over to distort it. The distortion begins the moment we open our eyes. Our senses don't deliver truth. They deliver interpretations. Before a memory even forms, the brain filters what we see and hear through attention, spotlighting certain details and ignoring others. One person fixates on a face, another on a sound, another on the threat they think is coming. The event is fractured from the start, splintered into personal fragments, and the brain quietly decides what matters. Inside the mind, regions like the hippocampus, prefrontal cortex, and sensory networks compete for control. If someone feels threatened, the amygdala floods the system with stress signals, narrowing perception and burning intense details into place, while everything else fades into blankness. Another person, calm and detached, may store only a vague outline. Two brains reacting to the same moment, but recording entirely different data. Beliefs and expectations twist perception even further. The brain loves shortcuts, so it uses mental templates, schemas, to interpret events. If we expect danger, we see danger. If we expect safety, we overlook warning signs. The mind fills in gaps instantly, without permission. In that split second, two people can witness an action and assign opposite meanings to it. Aggression to one, harmlessness to another, and those meanings become the foundation of memory. Even time bends. Under stress, moments stretch and distort. Seconds feel like minutes. Reactions seem slower or faster than they were. One person may swear something lasted forever, while the other insists it was over in a blink. The brain is not a clock. It is a storyteller convinced it's a stopwatch. And then there's attention, the silent gatekeeper. We don't store what we don't notice. A single distraction can erase an entire detail from memory, as if it never existed. Meanwhile, something insignificant, a gesture, a word, a flicker of movement, can become monumental simply because the mind locked onto it. So before a memory has even formed, two people have already lived two different internal realities. Not mystical, but deeply unsettling, because it means our memories are not just personal. They are isolated. Universes shaped by fear, expectation, belief, biology, and focus. The recording is never objective. The truth is never shared. The moment the world enters the brain, it stops being the world and becomes a private version no one else will ever see. When the event is finally over, the brain begins its most secretive work, turning raw perception into a memory. But it doesn't store everything. It compresses, edits, rearranges, like a cracked puzzle missing pieces. The mind fills in the empty spaces using imagination, assumptions, and past experiences. What feels like certainty may actually be reconstruction. Memory is strengthened not by accuracy, but by repetition. Each retelling, out loud or silently, reshapes the original impression. A detail added once may become permanent. A detail forgotten may vanish forever. Over days, months, years, the memory drifts farther from what happened and closer to what feels consistent with our identity. We remember what fits our story. Social influence twists the process even more. Hearing someone else's version can overwrite parts of our own. A confident statement, a suggestion, even a question can plant new fragments. Entire eyewitness accounts have been reshaped simply by someone asking, "Are you sure?" The brain hates uncertainty, so it edits until the memory feels solid, even if it becomes inaccurate. And then there's confabulation, the mind's eerie habit of inventing details without realizing it. Not a lie, but a patch. When a memory has holes, the brain repairs them automatically, drawing from similar events, familiar emotions, or imagined possibilities. The result feels real because it lives in the same neural space as genuine memories. Two people can argue furiously, both convinced they are right, because both memories feel authentic, even if neither is true. Over time, memories decay unevenly. Emotional fragments remain sharp while neutral information dissolves. A single expression, a tone of voice, the chill in the air. These sensory echoes can outlive entire scenes. One person remembers the fear, the other remembers the laughter. The rest disappears into darkness. Identity plays its role too. We protect the version of ourselves we want to believe in. The brain may soften our mistakes, amplify our successes, or reinterpret events to maintain psychological balance. Two people might walk away from the same conflict, one feeling guilt, the other feeling justified. And decades later, their memories will evolve to support those feelings. Eventually, what once was a shared moment becomes two separate histories, two realities that can never be perfectly aligned again. Not because someone lied, but because the brain is incapable of holding the past in pure form. Memory is not a vault. It is a living system, constantly changing, reshaping, drifting, and somewhere along the way, the original event stops existing. All that remains are the private versions inside each mind. Unstable, shifting, deeply personal. Two stories, two truths, two worlds that began in the same place and ended galaxies apart.